brothers and friends, I would like to start by reading a statement from President Miguel who is the 63rd President of the General Assembly of the United Nations. President Brockman, Father Descotto, we call him, was wanting to make this statement to the full forum, but was not invited to speak there, even though he told them how pleased he would be to offer his time. So we're reading it here to you instead. Actually, we think this is the more important forum anyway. So from Father Miguel Descotto Brockman of the United Nations. Dear friends, sisters, and brothers all, I am very pleased to be able to address the 5th World Water Forum, and through my senior advisor on water, Maude Barlow, I send warm greetings to what has become the largest gathering of concerned water advocates in the world. I wish to address some concerns regarding the processes and structures of this institution today with candor and with the genuine hope that we can find new ways to broaden our partnerships around the crucial issues arising from the water crisis that is relentlessly unfolding around the world. The General Assembly is joined by other members of the UN family to advance these goals. I am heartened by the decision last year of the Human Rights Council to appoint an independent expert on the issue of human rights obligations related to access to safe drinking water and sanitation. Her appointment was a clear demonstration of the rising concern of the international community towards the impending water crisis and the need to ensure that our joint efforts are guided towards meeting the needs of the world's most vulnerable and disempowered. My views on water have been deeply influenced by Maude Barlow's work over the past years to bring the global water crisis to the attention of the international community. I share her view that water is a public trust, a common heritage of all people and nature, and a fundamental human right. I am convinced that we must challenge the notion that water is a commodity to be bought and sold on the open market. We must work quickly to guarantee that access to drinking water constitutes a fundamental right of all peoples and is included in the United Nations Decade for Water. The World Bank reports that by 2025, 2/3 of the world's population will be having some problems with access to clean water. And that is why water is increasingly seen as the oil of the 21st century, with the serious consequences that implies. Those who are committed to the privatization of water make it a commodity like oil and are denying people a basic right to this water. Because of these beliefs, I feel I must express my concerns regarding the constitution and performance of the World Water Forum. As President of the General Assembly, I see more clearly than ever the importance of inclusive and democratic partnerships in addressing the global challenges before us. Yet to be successful, these partnerships need to be in keeping with the UN development agenda and the goals of our organization. And we must take into account and reflect the emerging trends in international law, including international human rights law. I believe the UN's own ambiguity and lack of leadership have hindered our ability to steer a course and forge more constructive partnerships for addressing the critical issues of water. I think that's a very brave and important statement. I said that in my little editorializing. Father Brockman says, I am concerned that the World Water Forum is currently structured in a way that precludes partnerships with advocates of the principles mentioned above. The forum's orientation is profoundly influenced by private water companies. This is evident by the fact that both the President of the World Water Council and the alternative President are deeply involved with the provision of private, for-profit water services. It is important that the United Nations insist on more clarity on the issues of commodification of water and articulate a rights-based approach on access to water. I strongly believe that UN agencies and offices should spearhead the effort to articulate, through a legally constituted process, a clear, comprehensive framework for dealing with issues of access to water and sanitation. Guidelines should be established as to the accountability and responsibilities of the members of the World Water Council and the World Water Forum. I was troubled to learn that the current World Water Forum ministerial statement was only agreed upon when some states ensured there was no binding obligation on governments to actually implement any of the articles in the statement. The issue of water is too important to be left without a binding and accountable process. We can and must do better. It is clear that the present World Water Forum does not share the widely held views against water privatization and on preventing water from becoming a commodity. I must agree that future forums should adopt